Have you ever reached for a handful of nuts thinking you were doing something good for your heart, only to wonder later why you still feel tired, achy, or just off? Maybe you've been snacking on what you thought were healthy choices, following advice that worked when you were younger, but now something doesn't feel quite right. I want to share something with you that might surprise you, maybe even concern you a little. Those nuts sitting in your pantry right now, the ones you grab for an afternoon snack or toss into your morning cereal, some of them might actually be working against you. Not because they're inherently bad, but because at our age, our bodies process things differently than they did 20 or 30 years ago. My name, Dr. Kenneth, and I am on a journey to help men like us navigate these later decades with strength, clarity, and vitality. And what I've discovered through years of research and countless conversations with men over 60 is this: the same foods that served us well in our 40s might be quietly undermining us now. It's not about fear or deprivation. It's about understanding how to work with our bodies as they are today, not as they were decades ago. You see, when we cross that 60-year threshold, our metabolism shifts, our digestive system becomes more sensitive, and our bodies need different kinds of support. The inflammation that we could bounce back from quickly now lingers longer. The blood sugar spikes that barely registered before now leave us feeling foggy and drained. And those little aches and pains, sometimes they're not just age. Sometimes they're signals that something we're eating regularly is causing low-level inflammation throughout our system.
Today, I'm going to walk you through 4 specific nuts that, despite their healthy reputation, might be sabotaging your energy, your comfort, and even your medication effectiveness. Then I'll share 4 other nuts that can become powerful allies in helping you feel more like the strong, vibrant man you remember being. Let's start with one that's probably sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now. Maybe even in that trail mix you bought thinking it was a smart choice. I'm talking about peanuts. And here's the thing that might shock you. They're not actually nuts at all. Peanuts are legumes, which means they grow underground. And that creates a problem most people never think about. Because they develop below ground, they're incredibly vulnerable to something called aflatoxins. Invisible mold-based toxins that you can't see, smell, or taste. These toxins have been linked to liver stress, immune system suppression, and even more serious health concerns. For those of us whose natural detox systems have slowed with age, this becomes a real issue. But here's what really caught my attention in my research. Peanuts are notorious for triggering chronic, low-grade inflammation throughout the body. Think about those mornings when your joints feel stiff for no reason, or when you experience that frustrating brain fog that makes you feel like you're thinking through cotton. That persistent, dull inflammation could be coming from something as simple as your daily peanut snack.
Most commercial peanuts make the problem worse because they're roasted in oils that aren't doing your heart any favors and loaded with salt that can drive up blood pressure, something many of us are already watching carefully. And if you're taking blood thinners or other medications, peanuts can actually interfere with how your body processes them, particularly affecting vitamin K absorption and liver metabolism. I remember reading about a Vietnam veteran who couldn't figure out why his energy had dropped and his joint pain had increased, even though he thought he was eating healthy by choosing peanuts over chips. When he removed them from his daily routine and made some smarter substitutions, his joint discomfort eased, his blood pressure improved, and that mental clarity he'd been missing started to return. The second nut that deserves your careful attention is one that might surprise you even more because it's often marketed as a premium health food. I'm talking about cashews, and they come with hidden challenges that can particularly impact men our age. Now, about those cashews I mentioned, you might be thinking, but I see them in every healthy snack mix, and they taste so mild and pleasant. That's exactly the problem. They're almost too good to be true. especially for men over 60 who might already be dealing with blood sugar concerns or kidney health issues. Here's what makes cashews tricky for us. Unlike most nuts, they're surprisingly high in carbohydrates, about 9 grams per ounce, and they have what nutritionists call a significant glycemic impact. That means they can cause your blood sugar to spike more than you'd expect from a healthy snack. If you're already in that pre-diabetic range that affects so many of us, or if you've noticed your energy crashes after certain foods, those daily cashew handfuls might be part of the problem. But there's something else that really concerns me about cashews, and it's something most men never hear about. They're loaded with compounds called oxalates. These bind to calcium in your digestive system, which not only prevents your body from absorbing that important mineral, something we desperately need for bone strength at our age, but also increases your risk of developing kidney stones. And trust me, kidney stones are not just painful, they can be genuinely dangerous as we get older. The third nut that might be working against you is one that feels almost luxurious when you eat it: macadamia nuts. These buttery, rich little morsels have this indulgent quality that makes them seem like a sophisticated, healthy choice. But here's the reality that caught me off guard when I first learned about it. Just one small handful of macadamias contains nearly 200 calories and 22 grams of fat. Now, I'm not saying all fats are bad. We need healthy fats. But when your metabolism is naturally slowed down, and maybe you're not as active as you once were, those calories can accumulate faster than you realize. It's what I call invisible weight gain. Not from obviously poor choices, but from underestimating foods that seem healthy. Many of the men I've spoken with have noticed their weight creeping up despite eating what they thought were good foods, and macadamias are often part of that puzzle. The fourth and final nut to be cautious about might be the most surprising of all: pine nuts. These little torpedo-shaped nuts seem so innocent, often tucked into pesto or sprinkled on salads, but they can create a very strange and concerning problem called pine mouth, a metallic taste distortion that can last for days or even weeks. Now, you might think, so what if things taste metallic for a while? But here's the hidden danger. When food and water suddenly taste unpleasant, many of us unconsciously start eating and drinking less. For men over 60 who might already be at risk for unintentional weight loss or dehydration, this can lead to a rapid decline in strength, energy, and even immune function. Pine nuts can also interfere with how your body processes common medications, especially blood pressure medications, cholesterol drugs, and even some mental health prescriptions. Your pills might not work the way they're supposed to, or worse, they could cause unexpected side effects because your body isn't metabolizing them properly. But here's where this story takes a turn for the better. Because while those 4 nuts might be working against you, there are 4 others that can become genuine allies in helping you feel stronger, sharper, and more energetic. Let me tell you about the first one: Brazil nuts. These large, wedge-shaped nuts might look ordinary, but they contain something extraordinary: more selenium than almost any other food on Earth. Just one Brazil nut gives you more than your entire daily requirement of this crucial mineral. Why does selenium matter so much for men our age? It's absolutely essential for thyroid function, which controls your metabolism, energy levels, and even your mood. When your thyroid isn't getting enough selenium, everything starts to slow down. Your thinking, your energy, even your body's ability to maintain muscle mass. But selenium does something else that's particularly important for men. It plays a critical role in testosterone production. I'm not talking about trying to recapture your 20s, but about maintaining the hormonal balance that affects everything from your strength and endurance to your mental clarity and emotional resilience. 1 Brazil nut each morning. That's it. Simple, natural, and incredibly powerful.
The second nut that deserves a place in your daily routine is one you probably already know well, almonds. But I want you to think about them differently. Almonds aren't just a snack, they're like a gentle daily insurance policy for your bones and your brain. As we age, bone density naturally declines, and what used to be a minor fall can become a major injury. Almonds contain not just calcium, but also magnesium, which acts like a traffic controller, directing that calcium into your bones where it belongs instead of letting it accumulate in your arteries. It's a rare combination that supports both bone strength and heart health simultaneously.
But almonds do something else that's truly remarkable for men our age. They help protect your brain. The vitamin E and flavonoids in almonds, especially when you eat them with the skin on, work together to fight the kind of oxidative stress that damages brain cells over time. Studies suggest that men who eat almonds regularly may experience slower cognitive decline and better memory retention as they age. I usually recommend about 15 to 20 almonds a day, raw or dry roasted, unsalted, and here's the key: chew them slowly and mindfully. This isn't just about nutrition, it's about creating a moment of intention in your day, a small ritual that says you're investing in your long-term health and independence. Now, the third nut I want to share with you has always fascinated me because it actually looks like what it's designed to help. I'm talking about walnuts. And if you've ever cracked one open, you'll notice they have an uncanny resemblance to a human brain, complete with those folded, wrinkled patterns. This isn't just a curious coincidence. Walnuts truly are brain food in the most literal sense. They're packed with alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that helps keep your brain cell membranes flexible and healthy. As we age, these membranes tend to stiffen, which slows down communication between neurons. That's when memory gets fuzzy, focus fades, and that mental sharpness we once took for granted begins to slip away.
But walnuts help maintain those crucial connections. They're also loaded with polyphenols, powerful antioxidants that can actually cross the blood-brain barrier and help reduce the kind of inflammation in your brain that's linked to cognitive decline and memory problems. And here's something you might not know. Walnuts contain natural melatonin, which can help restore the deep, restorative sleep that becomes harder to find as we get older. I recommend about 7 to 9 walnut halves daily, preferably raw and with the skin on. That's where many of the healing compounds live. Think of them as your evening ritual, perhaps with a cup of herbal tea, giving your brain the support it needs while your body prepares for rejuvenating sleep. The fourth and final nut in your new arsenal might just become your favorite because it turns healthy eating into something enjoyable and almost meditative. I'm talking about pistachios, and they offer benefits that span from your heart to your eyes to your blood sugar control. Pistachios are absolutely packed with potassium, more per serving than most fruits, and that's crucial for relaxing your blood vessels and naturally supporting healthy blood pressure. For those of us who are more sensitive to salt now and dealing with arteries that aren't as flexible as they once were, this kind of gentle natural support can make a real difference in how we feel day to day. But pistachios offer something else that's particularly valuable for men our age. They're rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, two antioxidants that concentrate in your retina and help filter out harmful blue light. These nutrients play a critical role in preserving your vision and slowing age-related macular degeneration, something many of us quietly worry about as the years go on.
Even more impressive is how pistachios support stable blood sugar. With about 3 grams of fiber per ounce and a low glycemic index, they help slow digestion and reduce those post-meal sugar spikes that can leave you feeling tired and foggy. If you're managing prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, this kind of natural blood sugar support is invaluable. And here's something beautiful about pistachios. Eating them in the shell naturally slows you down.
It turns snacking into a mindful activity, giving your body time to register fullness and helping prevent overeating without having to count calories or restrict yourself. About 1 ounce per day, roughly 49 nuts, unsalted or lightly salted, and always kept fresh. So let me bring this all together for you. We've talked about 4 nuts to avoid: peanuts with their hidden toxins and inflammation, cashews with their blood sugar spikes and kidney concerns, macadamias with their calorie density, and pine nuts with their medication interactions and taste disruption. And we've discovered 4 powerful allies: Brazil nuts for your thyroid and hormonal health, almonds for your bones and brain, walnuts for cognitive protection and better sleep, and pistachios for your heart, eyes, and blood sugar stability. But here's what I really want you to understand. This isn't about perfection or completely overhauling your life overnight. It's about making informed choices that honor where you are right now and support where you want to be. Maybe you start by replacing that afternoon handful of peanuts with a Brazil nut and a few almonds. Maybe you swap your evening cashew snack for some pistachios and walnuts while watching the news. These small shifts, repeated consistently, can create profound changes in how you feel, how clearly you think, and how much energy you have for the things that matter most to you. Your body has carried you through decades of life, through challenges and celebrations, through all the seasons of your experience. It deserves this kind of thoughtful care. I'd love to hear about your experience with these changes. Have you noticed any of these patterns in your own life? Are there nuts you've been eating regularly that might be working against you? Drop a comment below and share your story. Sometimes the most powerful learning happens when we listen to each other's experiences. Remember, you're never too old to make choices that help you feel stronger, sharper, and more alive. Every day is a new opportunity to support your body in being the best it can be. You've earned the right to feel good in your own skin, and these simple changes can be part of that journey. Let's keep moving forward together, one thoughtful choice at a time.